Hey, how's it? All right, it's about 5 p.m. Hey, that's not how I start things up. All right, let's try this again. Hey, how's it, everybody? It's right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter tonight, and this is Chatter with Statter. And it looks like we've got folks already hanging out in the Chatterbox room. So let's see here. We've got Katie's Aura coming in with Terry. Actually, you know what? I don't know if Katie's Aura came in with Terry. I don't even know if Terry had a raid. We've got Katie's Aura here. We've got Terry in Scotland here. We have got Darlene here. And we have got Shock. And we have got Pacola T saying hello, Chatter crew. Let's see here. Who else do we have? We've got E.T. Elaine on the YouTube side. I think I saw a Sasquatch there. I'm not sure what side he is on. And it looks like he is on that there YouTube side. And let's see here. More of the same folk. Oh, Rick coming in, though, saying, hey, chatters and Mad Statter. And Terry does not stream on Sundays anymore. Mama Sean coming in on the YouTube side saying, aloha all. Well, Terry, no streaming on Sunday. You know what? It's good to take a day off. And as y'all might have known, yesterday I accidentally took a day off. There was an intention of a Statterbox at the cinema. A full intention. Absolute intended intention. But, I'll explain later. But in the meantime, why don't we just get the party started, shall we? Let's do it. Alrighty, I remembered to unmute myself this time. Okay, so alrighty here. First off, I guess, most important... Hold on, wait. Mad Statter, says Terry. I made a necklace in the brickwork pattern, 21 feet of gold paracord. Whoa! So it took 21 feet to make one necklace? Wow! If I remember correctly, the brickwork one is a pretty nice, weave, I guess, knotting pattern. There we go. Pretty nice pattern. But wow, 21 feet of paracord. That's a handy dandy useful thing to keep on your body if you ever need, something in an emergency. I got myself a 2-foot long bracelet, or necklace, but it goes to be about 21 feet in total. That's pretty, that's actually pretty handy. Alrighty. So those of you who don't know, Terry in Scotland, he has taken up a new hobby where he makes paracord, clearly necklaces, as well as bracelets. And paracord, in case you don't know, we did a show all about it. It's basically a synthetic polyester, I think, based cord that has crazy strength to width ratio, and they use it in the military a lot. Not only do they make bracelets out of it, both functional, it's also symbolic, etc. But paracord weaving is something that Terry in Scotland has taken up. He's done. Oh, it's all nylon, not polyester. Either way, it is synthetic. That much I can say. And basically, if you're interested, Terry in Scotland is making them all up and sending them out for those who are interested. And he is not asking for donations. I am requesting donations to be sent to him, at least to cover the cost of postage, because he is in the UK, and that it costs a little bit to, send stuff out. But alas, he's not the one who's making you do that. I'm the one who's suggesting it strongly. And as the one who's suggesting it strongly, I still haven't paid for my postage yet. So I'm not telling you how to live your life, y'all. I am definitely not trying to tell you how to live your life. But speaking of life, I yesterday intended to share life with all y'all, as we usually do on Saturdays. We generally have a movie night. And yesterday was supposed to be The Dark Crystal. Now, yesterday I left my house early in the afternoon and had an intention to come back in time for the movie. And I did get back in time for the movie by the skin of my teeth. However, when I got here, I saw that Past Me really didn't do a very good job. I was very disappointed in Past Me. Past Me went and found the Dark Crystal, downloaded it, and didn't really notice that it actually wasn't the Dark Crystal and it was only 15 minutes long. So when I loaded it into the movie thing, it was like, wait, 13 minutes and 44 seconds to be exact. And I was like, 13 minutes? Why, that movie's much longer than 13 minutes. And so then I went and looked in my catalog thinking I had the real one, and I just grabbed the wrong one. But no, as it turns out, there was no Dark Crystal movie in my possession to watch at all. And at that point, it was so close to the movie time. I had other things on my mind, and I'll explain to you what I had on my mind after this. I just couldn't focus on picking a movie, and I decided movie night's canceled, and I would focus on what I wanted to focus on, which was the video footage that I had gotten earlier yesterday. Yeah, Darlene, I don't know how long of a movie it is. It is a Jim Henson movie, and it was made for kids, so I can't assume that it was very long. But from a kids movie perspective, I do believe it was one of the longer kids movies. Yeah, it is a legit more than 13-minute long movie. That is for certain. And so, so I was a little bit disappointed, but whatever. It happens. I'm sorry that it had to be canceled at the last minute, but it was, like I said, absolutely no emergency, no nothing weird, no whatever. And what I ended up doing was going through the video footage that I had gotten from, I've never shown the Dark Crystal. I've never shown the Dark Crystal, Terry. First off, if I did, I would have had the whole movie. Second off, if I did, it would have been in... You're thinking of Labyrinth. You're thinking of Labyrinth. I never have shown the Dark Crystal. It's Labyrinth you're thinking of. I've never shown the Dark Crystal, because if I had shown the Dark Crystal, I would have had a full-length copy of it already, and I would have had it in I have a very specific way that I sort my movies by having shown them on Satterbox at the cinema versus not. 2 different folders. And I don't have the Dark Crystal in either of the folders anymore, and certainly not the long one. I think you're thinking of Labyrinth. I really, because David Bowie is not in the Dark Crystal. David Bowie is a bunch of Muppets. No, David Bowie is not in the Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal has a bunch of Muppets in it, sort of like Labyrinth, but 2 somewhat different movies. Either way, what I did instead was, did I ever get my hard drive restored? No, they can't find it. It disappeared into ether, so my hard drive has, my memories have all gone away. All of the pictures that I had stored there from, like 2012 and beyond, yeah, they're all gone. Lesson learned. And David Bowie was never a Muppet, was he? I can't answer that. David Bowie has been a lot of things, and so you know what? There could have been a time in his life where he was a Muppet. So I'm not going to answer that for Mr. Bowie. And Darlene, you agree. I don't think you've played the Dark Crystal. The Labyrinth, definitely. The Dark Crystal, not so much. Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure I have not. But, Mitchie Mama, good to see you. So, yesterday, I went out full bore. I had much excite in my life. For, you see, if you guys don't remember, I'm going to remind you, hey, Thomas the Turtle, we had a discussion once about these silly little things called Labubus. Now, this is a fake Labubu, okay? I've got a fake Labubu right here. It's really one of my favorite things. It's fake. Anyway, I wanted a real one. I wanted a real one from a very specific series. They have several series of Labubus. I wanted one from the Big Into Energy series. And so I've done my darndest to try and get one. In order to get one, you basically have to sign up on Instagram for your local store's feed. So when they get shipments in, they let you know via Instagram. Well, yesterday, for the first time since I signed up, they let me know they had a new shipment of Big Into Energy Labubus. And so, yesterday, I left my house with all sorts of intentions of good things. Going by the mall to get a Labubu, and then going on a road trip to get some video footage that I've been wanting to get for you guys for a while. And it occurs to me that, the video footage that I want to get for you is not going to be available very soon because it requires a view of Mount Rainier, and it's we're getting into the cloudy season here soon. And so I checked the weather. The weather was maybe going to be workable or not. I don't know. It was anyway, I checked the weather. I figured I could maybe get the footage that I needed. So I went and did all of that. First stop was the mall. I go into Pop Mart, and I don't understand how it works. I don't get it. I go to the Labubu section, and there's no Labubu Big Into Energy. So I say to the person, "Oh, did you already sell out?" And she said, "No, I don't think so, but you have to go stand in line. They have them all at the back behind the register." So I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So I get in a relatively short line, right? And I see in the people who are already at the register, and I see all the boxes behind the register, and I don't see any Big Into Energy boxes. I just see the Exciting Macaron boxes, which is the other series that they had released today, or they had in shipment today. So I was like, oh shoot. But then I noticed, oh wait, the cashier is putting Big Into Energy boxes into this one client's bag. So I was like, awesome. They still have them. And so when it gets to be my turn, I'm like, hey, do you have any Big Into Energy Labubus? And they said, we just sold the last 6. I saw the last 6 going into the bag. And yes, hey, Trail Dust, good to see you. Labubu are these little creepy things. But see, I don't really think that they're that creepy, because to me, they remind me of Where the Wild Things Are. Do you remember that book, Where the Wild Things Are? They just remind me of the wild things from Where the Wild Things Are. And I really like this series because they're bright colors. The other series they're just like beige and brown and gray and stupid. But these ones are all bright and pretty and cute. And so I want one from this series. And so, yeah, dang, so close. I was so annoyed. And then today I woke up and they had another notification that they were in, but the notification was already 3 hours old by the time I saw it. And so I didn't feel like going down to the mall again just to be like, no, that was the last one. So I'm going to have to wait for the next series, or the next time they drop. I'm going to assume because the holidays are coming up that they're going to be dropping more and more often, I hope. Anyway, so disappointment. Yeah, they do kind of have the Wild Things vibe, I think, right? And so, so I had to give up hope on that, but I decided, but that was okay, because after I left the mall, the weather was turning better, because it was kind of cloudy before, but the weather was totally clearing up. So I was like, oh, well, maybe this is a perfect sign for getting the footage that I wanted. I'm going to get the footage that I wanted. So I went on my little road trip to go get the footage that I wanted, and I didn't get the exact footage I wanted, but I thought I got some pretty good footage. And then last night when I got home and didn't do the movie thing with you guys, I reviewed the footage. Dude, the footage is... The footage is in great need of some stabilization software, and I'm trying to get it stabilized so it's actually workable. But that's okay, because I found something, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But hold on, let's see here. You want a Labubu for Christmas, says Terry in Scotland? Well, I'll see if I can get you a Labubu for Christmas. If you don't mind exciting macaron, I might be able to get one for you because those don't seem to be in as big of a demand anymore as the Big Into Energy series. That's the newer series. And Bacola Tea, this is marketing brilliance. Drive up demand by making the product exclusive and creating wait lists. Oh, absolutely. Well, and not only Bacola Tea, not only is it marketing brilliance, there's a whole market for the fake ones. And the fake ones, actually, by the way, the fake ones are called Lafufus. And the fake ones have a market demand of their own. So not only do the real ones have a market demand, the fake ones actually also have a market demand. It's very strange, yes, but and the store is not cool. They should limit the sales to say 3 to a purchase. Rick, while I can appreciate that logic, and I do appreciate why that seems the way it should be, they do have a limit, and the limit is 6. And the reason why the limit is 6 is because they come. Okay, so each individual one comes in its own individual box, and you can buy individual boxes singularly, which was all I was going to do. But within this series, there's 6 figures, 6 varieties, six of them, right? So the store display, right? You know, if you're going to be at the store display, the store has a bigger box. And that bigger box holds 6 boxes. And within that bigger box, Pop Mart guarantees there's going to be one of each variety. And so the neat thing about just buying one is you don't know which one you're going to get. But if you buy an entire set, the box of 6, then you're guaranteed to get one of each. And if you don't, if you get a duplicate, you can actually return your duplicate to Pop Mart and they'll replace it with the missing one. And so that's kind of the thing. You can't buy more than one big box at a time. So they are limiting it, but it's the big, but you're also allowed to buy all 6 at once. Yes, trying to get all 6 in a series, one of each, but a set gotta cost plenty. Well, a set of 6, and these cost like $27.99. The real ones, this one did not cost that. The real ones cost $27.99. So times that by 6, and then in Washington State, you've got a 10.35% retail sales tax on top of that. So you're looking at basically $30 times 6, which is like 180 bucks or something like that. So certainly not cheap, which is why I only wanted one. And sure, I know I really 85, 30, 38. There you go. And Terry, you need to be hanging on every word of this important topic. And actually, unfortunately, for some people, this is an important topic because little girls are going nuts over these things. Older women are going, people are going nuts for these things. You guys, they've got clothes, they've got shoes that you can buy, like Balenciaga, like they've got Michael Kors purses to go with the Labubus. They've got you can dress these things up in designer. It's insane is what it is. Okay. Yes. Italian shoes. They make them for Labubus. Like it is ridiculous is what it is basically. And Darlene, the funny thing is so Pop Mart is in the mall, but there's this other store in the mall and I can't remember what it's called. We're just going to call it Fuzzies. It is not called Fuzzies, but Fuzzies. So Pop Mart only sells Pop Mart brand stuff like this. And Pop Mart's got a lot of different characters, not just Labubus. They've got Crybaby dolls, Skull Panda dolls, Molly dolls, blah, blah, blah. By the way, the Molly dolls I hate. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do that, but blah, blah, blah. I hate the Molly doll. Anyway, they are a reseller. Fuzzies, I don't remember what the store is called, but they're like 2 doors down from Pop Mart. Fuzzies is a reseller of random crap. So if you go to Fuzzies, you can find a Labubu, a real one, but it'll be $60 instead of $27.99. So, Darlene, you're right. They are $50 a pop. They are $60 a pop in some places. But the legitimate place where you are guaranteed, like Fuzzies, I don't know for certain that if I pay $60, I'm going to get a real one. Whereas if I pay $27.99 at Pop Mart, I know I'm getting a real one. Or if I pay $19.99 at my bodega in my neighborhood, I know I'm getting a fake one, which is the one I've got right now. So this one cost me $19.99. And I don't care. I still think it's cute. And let's see here. Darlene, I'm just waiting for it to be brought up by my older two granddaughters. We'll see. My daughter said, please don't bring it up, though. Let's see if they bring it up. Yes, totally, Darlene. Abso-flippin'-lutely. But let me just also warn you, if it does come up, you A, want to make sure that you get them a real one, and B, be prepared for, they might want to dress them up. You can buy clothes for these, too. But yeah, so there you go. And let's see here. Some people would resell everyone they get their hands on. Absolutely. Well, and then Rick, the individual, so like I said, the boxes, or the big box has the 6, and there's 6 in a set. However, sometimes one out of 72 is what's known as the secret one. And so so if you buy a box of 6, there is a chance that you might not get all 6. And if you don't get all 6, well, gosh, you ended up getting the secret one, which is actually more valuable than one of the 6 anyway. And so, yeah, people are reselling them. However, unless you buy them from Pop Mart, you don't know if it's a scammer on the other end of, you don't know if it's a scammer on the other end of the sale. They could say it's legit. They could even show a picture of it being legit. They could, they could have a legit one of their own and show you that it's legit, but then they sell you a fake one that you just spent like $50 on. So, so even though I do want one, I'm willing to risk paying less money for a fake one because I knew it was fake when I bought it. That's no problem. But, I'm not going to be spending $50 or $60 on one that I'm hoping is real and find out later it's not. So, does Donnie John collect Labubus? I bet Lindsey Graham does. Oh, I'm sure Lindsey Graham does. And maybe I could make bracelets and necklaces for Labubus. I don't know, dude. I think that they would be too bulky. Way too bulky, because these are, not very big. They're only that big. And let's see here, though. Okay, so Picola T, she said something, and I didn't look at it, but now there's math involved, so now I have to. Okay, there's a farewell to the stadium concert next weekend. The single admission price is $10. However, for a family of 6, it's $30, which makes it $5 a piece. Explain that math to me. Well, I guess, Picola T, if you buy them in bulk, I suppose, right? I don't know. That is kind of weird. And Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for that 1,000 biddies. All right, so let's see here. Maybe you could sew a fuzzy jacket to fit their Stanley cups. I don't know what you're talking about here, but, and then, yeah, Elaine, it is such a stupid craze. And I admit, I feel a little bit stupid about it, but at the same time, my interest in it is not, I'm going to spend $27.99 on one of them, and that's all I'm going to do, and so, well, actually, if I get the green one, I don't like the green one. I don't want the green one. But basically, it is, but I don't very often get swept up in any kind of trend or modern, like what everybody else in the world is doing, I generally don't. And so I'm I'm fascinated by this, and I'm fascinated that I'm fascinated. So it's kind of, it's ridiculous, and feel free to point and laugh at me all y'all want. But I can tell you this, if you go to a store hoping to find something and they're sold out, and you watched the last ones being sold, come on, guys. That you're gonna be like, Stella. It's just, really bummed. And exactly, Terry. Point and laugh all you want. And let's see here. Trail Dust is back. Had a ring and a shark's tooth to finish. Don't know what a shark's tooth is. I mean, I do, but I didn't think people made those. Do you mean Cabbage Patch Dolls, Mitchie Mama? You can't seem to remember the name of the last bunch of dolls from the 80s. Cabbage Patch Dolls were quite popular back then. And Stanley and Koala Cups thermos type trend going on in one of the other older granddaughter's school area. We had to search for a particular one she wanted. Oh my God, that is so funny. That's so cute. No, not Cabbage Patch Dolls. I'm trying to remember the doll crazes. See, and I don't, oh, it's a shark's tooth in gold. Oh, neat. They were small, huh? Okay. These kind of look like Manchi cheese, but I don't think that's what you're talking about. What was that? Oh, I can see them. They were like this little big, maybe this big, and they were sort of rubber, I think. McDonald's had them too. Oh, maybe that's not what I'm thinking of. And let's see here. Elaine, your daughter was scared of the Cabbage Patch Dolls. I didn't get her one. Someone thought she'd go crazy for it, so gifted, and she screamed. That is funny. Yeah, actually, I never liked the Cabbage Patch Dolls. My mom got one for me thinking I wanted one, but no. Oh, Tamagotchi? The little thing that you had to keep alive. I wouldn't really call that a doll, though, would you? And then, of course, there was the Furbies, but that's later than the 80s. And, God, I don't know what dolls you're talking about. I wish that more of us had an idea. What were the ones with the freaked out hair? You mean the troll dolls? Oh, do you mean the troll dolls? The little troll dolls with the freaked out hair? Yeah, those were big in the 80s for sure. Yeah, those were huge in the 80s. People totally collected those. And Mitchie Mom was like, no, I would have remembered the troll doll. It's a troll. Right, of course. Might have to do a stream on vintage toys. Yeah, totally, dude. Trolls were in the 50s. Well, they were in the 80s too, dude. Like, for sure. One of my friends had a major collection. They were totally popular in the 80s as well. But really, the troll dolls are from the 50s? No way. I mean, I'm not arguing because I don't know. It's just like, what? And Kenny from the Cove, good to see you. It's a shame that you couldn't claim a Tamagotchi as a dependent on your federal tax return. Well, if Tamagotchi had come out before 1985, you probably could have. But after 1985, you in theory were supposed to have a social security number for all your dependents. So, so unless this Tamagotchi had a social security number, obviously not. But before 1985, dude, you absolutely could have taken it as a dependent. You could have taken your dog as a dependent. You could have taken a lot of people as a dependent, which is why they required a social security number. And Picola T in the 60s just asked my mom about my collection of troll dolls. She despised them. Okay, eMusic, yes, I recall the troll dolls in the 60s. Wow. And then Shock, oh yeah, my grandmother had a troll doll somewhere in her house. My uncle had posters with their little belly buttons and all that shit. Yeah, oh my goodness. And Dr. Steve says, no, they're from the late 60s. Dr. Steve's sister was crazy for them. Okay, I'm totally learning something here and totally believe you. But let me just tell you right now, perhaps it was because the 80s was all about revisiting the 60s. Plenty popular in the 80s as well, those troll dolls were. Plenty popular. But yeah, I'm going to have to... I'm making note. I am making note. 80s doll crazes. Vintage toys. We will be having a stream about that eventually sometime soon. Ooh, but hey, totally different topic, and I'm going to ask this even though this is not, I didn't intend to broach this topic, but it just crossed my mind. Any of you guys have any ways to cook matsutake mushrooms? I was gifted about a pound of matsutakes, and I cooked one of them, and I feel like I could have done better. So if anybody wants to, if anybody has any recipes from one of their troll dolls, maybe, especially if it was from one of your troll dolls, on how to cook some matsutake mushrooms, I'd be much appreciated. And American Girl dolls were the 2000s, I think. American Girls might have been as early as the late 1990s, but for sure in the... No, American Girls were totally the 90s. Because my mom died in 2000, and I know they were already in existence before she died. And the reason why I know they were already in existence before she died is because for many, 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 many years, downstairs in the rec room, she had a framed picture of an American Girl, and it was the Molly American Girl. And I don't know if she was trying to... I don't know what she was thinking, but I found that framed picture to be so completely offensive. I hate it so much. I hate the Molly American Girl. I hate. Anyway, she had that picture up in her living room long before she died. So definitely the 1990s. And let's see here. I might lightly saute matsutake in shoyu butter. Okay, the shoyu butter sounds good. And well, yeah, I guess Elaine, right, we're forgetting about the biggest doll craze of them all, which was Barbie dolls. Yeah, I was a big fan of Barbie back in the day. And there was some doll that was high school doll, but with vampires, ghouls, etc. Let's see here. Oh, I think I know what you're talking... Bratz. Was it Bratz dolls? Are you talking about Bratz dolls, Darlene? The high school doll, but with vampires and ghouls. Was that the Bratz dolls? Those were super popular for a while, too. And is it dried, fresh, soaked, dried for a couple hours, sliced thin, then boil in broth? No, it's fresh. And not only is it fresh, like it is freshly foraged. It still has the forest floor all over it. And everything that I've read about matsutakis is like, no, do not wash them. You do not peel them. You need to just wipe them clean. And it's like, you can't wipe this stuff off. This is stuff that needs to be power sprayed off. Otherwise, I'm going to be eating dirt and grit. So, anyone help me with that too? Ooh, right. Strawberry shortcake dolls in the 70s and 80s. Those were cute little dolls. I don't know if McDonald's ever had those, but yeah, I loved strawberry shortcake. Let's see here. Yeah, Kenny, that was actually quite the picture that you painted with your troll hairs. How many, oh my gosh, Picola T, how many step painfully on your brother's little green plastic G.I. Joe figures? Luckily, I did not have a brother, so I did not have any of those in my household. However, I did have plenty of friends who were boys, and even I have stepped on one of those before, and yes, they're so painful. Make sure you clean the mushrooms well. Yeah, make sure you clean the mushrooms well is the problem, my friend. They're telling me not to soak them, not to wash them, not to spray them, not to get them wet, not to peel them. And all these things are things that I feel like I got to do before I can eat that mushroom. When cooking, keep the preparation simple to highlight the flavor and smell of the mushrooms. You can lightly saute the mushrooms in olive oil and salt. Yeah, but lightly sauteing, sauteing, like, it's a very firm mushroom, and it just seems really hard because I sauteed it the last time, and it just seemed really hard. It didn't seem like it wanted to cook. So, okay. And yeah, Kenny, honestly, I feel like I do need to take my mushrooms to the car wash. And so let's see here. These mushrooms, hold on, wait. In Japanese cuisine, matsutake mushrooms are usually sliced thin and grilled with shoyu and mirin. These mushrooms are also typically served with soup, such as sukiyaki, or matsutake gohan, a rice dish where the mushrooms similar in dashi, mirin, rice wine, and soy sauce. Yeah, I saw that rice gohan, and I was thinking I might make that. And let's see here. Beanie Babies. Yeah, Beanie Babies. Is that what you were thinking of, Michi Mama? Beanie Babies. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, these are kind of like Beanie Babies. I mean, not, but kind of. Yeah. My mom loved those stupid things. She wasn't under the impression that they were going to get her rich the way some people were. But yeah, she loved those stupid things. And let's see here. Yeah, I think some people still do collect them. And I feel like I've got one somewhere here. Where did it go? I used to have... Where did it go? I used to have a bee that's a Beanie Baby, but I just bought it because it was a bee, not because it was a Beanie Baby. And from whom did these instructions come? From the people who foraged, or from a website on recipes? The people who foraged them. The people who foraged them. And see, Elaine, fresh. I like to soak in cool water and gently finger out any gunk. Don't like scrunching on pebbles. Then simmer slightly in sweet shoyu and ginger slivers and green onion, or add shoyu to shoyu chicken. See, Elaine, I'm right there with you. When it comes to mushrooms that have gunk all over them, a light soak absolutely, starts it. And then, oh my God. Darlene. We have talked about this on the stream. And it didn't even occur to me. Darlene is like bringing logic and what I already know. She's just reminding me of what I already know. Okay, a firmer mushroom. How about starting out with the water method first to soften, then add the butter? This is why two heads are better than one. Brilliant, Darlene, because the butter method, or the water method, for those of you who don't know, one of the best ways to saute your mushrooms is to boil them first. You put them in a pan of water, let the water boil up, and then boil off, and then you saute your mushrooms. And most people, this literally goes against every single thing you've ever been told about how to cook a mushroom. But it actually, the end result ends up being so much better. When Darlene and Rick first brought this cooking method of mushrooms to the stream's attention, I was one of the wholeheartedliest, no, that cannot possibly be right. And I had to prove that it was not right by cooking them that way myself. At which point, I realized this is really one of the best ways to cook mushrooms. And shot coming in. Actually, Kenny, you might want to scrub your mushrooms with a soft toothbrush. I have a soft toothbrush, and I just might do that. And Pocola T, clutching my pearls at the idea of steaming mushrooms. I know. Your response is valid. But at the same time, not proper, okay? Like, oh my God, it actually works, okay? And here we go, Sihunda coming in saying, aloha gang. And Shock pointing out that it is time for the musical interlude. However, before we do the musical interlude, because the musical interlude was chosen for one particular reason, I've got a clip here. So we're going to talk a smidge. The musical interlude's going to be a tiny bit late. So, all y'all, we're switching gears here, by the way. We are switching gears. U-turns, donut spins. We are going to end up, what are we talking about right now? We're going back to Chief of War. Right, what Chief of War? Why are we talking about what? Okay, y'all, so, we watched Chief of War together, and Chief of War was done primarily, overwhelmingly, in Olelo, Hawaii. And in watching Chief of War, we realized, like, wow, or I really assume most of us realized, wow, I really don't know how to speak Hawaiian very well. I can catch one or two words, but really, like, I just don't really pick up a lot, and it takes me a while to comprehend. Don't feel bad about that, okay? Because here's the deal. One of the actresses in Chief of War, the woman who plays Kamehameha's wife, okay? She didn't realize one of the most basic things to realize until someone pointed it out to her, and then she realized what she realized. And so, we're going to listen to what she had to... Yes, she was from New Zealand, absolutely. But even having learned Olelo, Hawaii for her role, she still hadn't made this connection. And so if we're having trouble making the connection, people who even semi-speak it have troubles too. Listen to this.
Also, another fun fact. Moses Goods, who plays my dad in the show, he's the one who broke it to me that it's not Keanu Reeves. It's Keanu.
Keanu, yeah.
And he's like, he's Hawaiian. I was like, no. Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
This whole time.
So I have
late.
this guy, Keanu Sai. He's this, he had the most popular episode last year. He talks about like Hawaiian sovereignty and everything.
Yes.
He's cousins with Keanu Reeves. He tells the story of like how they met each other and but Keanu is a Hawaiian name.
I just felt so stupid. I was like, this whole time I've been a fan. Never thought about it.
Yeah. I think his mom or dad was from Hawaii or Hawaiian or something like that.
Well, he's just the man. And it's because he's Hawaiian. Now I realize. Also, another fun fact.
So basically what she's saying is she had no idea that Keanu, which is how you say it, not Keanu, Keanu was Hawaiian. Now, here's my little question for you. Do you guys know, and I've known this for a long time because I've been a fan of Keanu, do you guys know what Keanu means? Does anybody have any idea what Keanu means? And trust me, y'all, this is eventually getting to the Lono listening break, okay? Okay. Darlene says, nope. And don't look it up yet, you guys, because I want to tell you, I want somebody who does know it to know it. And then I'll tell y'all, because I will tell you, it's very simple. Yes, says E-Music, but I have forgotten. Exactly. Let's see here. So, and by the way, Keanu's mom was the Hawaiian one, okay? Keanu's mom. And Pacola T coming in with the closest, Katie Zora, no, Pacola T is the closest one yet. It means the something. And that is true. It does mean the something. Michi Mama, yes, something about the wind in the sky. It is the ocean, the cool ocean breeze is what Keanu means. The cool ocean breeze. Okay, so Keanu, it's a phrase now that you know what it means. Now, in this Lono listening break, he talks about Keanu, which is why I chose this Lono listening break. So now it is time for the Lono listening break. Thank you for this slight derailment in time frame for learning of one phrase, which is the cool ocean breeze. Oh, that's it, Michi Mama. No, Keanu's mom was Haole. That's right. His dad was part Chinese and Hawaiian. That's right. See, there we go. I was getting Momoa's story confused with Keanu's. But either way, it doesn't matter. Here's our Lono listening break, and he's talking about Keanu, the cool ocean breeze, not 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 the actor, means Socrates. Yes, that's right, C Honda. Keanu means Socrates. And for those of you who don't know why I'm listening or laughing, it's a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure reference. All right, so let's do Lono listening break.
Ahe anu mea ole I kamana o ka ike ia o e ke aloha o I pono ka ini aloko ulu vehi na luna I lani huli ulu pe I ka ni a ka ua a o e ao vau laila I ke ona ona o kana hele ulu pene ili ke anu ahe anu mea ole I ka manao o ka ike ia o e ke aloha o I pono ka ini aloko I laila lia ka manao uku I ke anu o ka ua kolona hea e a ka ua beke ke hau o kana hele ulu pene ili ke anu ahe anu mea ole I ka manao o ka ike ia o e ke aloha o I pono ka ini aloko He maliu mai oe e ke aloha ku dear love o ka polai Buenos once more e ke hoa Kou time huli ho I ka ua Ulu pene ili ke anu ahe anu mea ole I ka manao o ka ike ia o e ke aloha o I pono ka ini aloko pulu pene ili ke anu ahe anu mea ole I ka manao o ka ike ia o e ke aloha o I pono ka ini aloko o I pono ka ini aloko
All right, here we go. We've got Mr. Dusty in the house. Yes, we do. He wants to be cuddled. Actually, that's not true. He wants to be fed. Eek. Alrighty, so let's organize so the kitty can get loves. Okie dokie, there we go. And yes, Kenny, you were exactly right. His name basically means the cool ocean breezes. And it's just like, could that, actually no, it just means the cool ocean breeze. And yeah, absolutely, dude, couldn't pick a better name for that guy, right? And he is so completely good looking without a doubt. But you know what? Keanu Reeves, that is. But he has been married, or he's been with his longtime girlfriend since forever. And she is like one plain Jane looking lady. He clearly, like, he seems like one of the most down-to-earth celebrities ever to be a celebrity. And I think one of the reasons perhaps why he's so down-to-earth is his sister was really ill for a long time, if not still. I don't remember what illness she was battling. But he has been helping take care of her. So that always grounds you. But another thing that grounds you is he didn't actually want to be an actor. He was planning on being a hockey player. His goal in life was to be a professional NHL player. But when he was in high school, he had such a severe knee injury that that was just off the charts. So he had already, like, his dreams were already dashed before he even stepped into the acting spotlight. So this was sort of like, just like, well, if I can't do that, I guess I'll do this. Okay, she had cancer, right? Yeah. Yeah, she had cancer. So he already has been tempered by a lot of reality in his own life. That he understands what Darlene is saying. Looks sometimes don't do it. A woman who is down to earth, trustworthy, much better. Absolutely. But when you're running in Hollywood circles where looks are a thing, sometimes it's easy to forget that, For instance, to be clear, I am not wearing any makeup except for one little piece of lip gloss that does have a little bit of tint in it. No, we're talking about Keanu Reeves, Verity. So I'm not wearing a lot of lipstick, okay? I'm wearing lip gloss with tint in it. No makeup otherwise. Obviously, grooming and makeup and glamour are not high on my priorities, right? Okay, so after a week of I spent an entire week in San Diego. And this was 20 years ago when television ads and radio ads were more of a thing in my life. They existed, After a week of being exposed to newspaper ads, television ads, radio ads, after a week, only 1 week of being in San Diego, I was considering getting my teeth whitened. Or some other little cosmetic procedure. They had so many ads for looking better. Going on a diet, losing weight, blah, 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 blah. Like, you couldn't escape the beautification industry. This shallow level how you look was so massively indoctrinated into these folks that these folks that live there, that even I, after 1 week, was actually thinking that I wanted to go get one of these procedures done. And I am not somebody who has ever been susceptible to getting work done. The idea of getting work done to me is asinine. And even people like me can fall prey. And Elaine, they got married recently very quietly. I'm not sure if that's true or not. There seems to be a rumor they did, but they are denying it. And Kenny, I'd love to see Keanu in a hockey movie. That would be so fire. America needs more hockey movies and Westerns where they get the indigenous part right. There you go. There you go. Well, speaking of Westerns where we get the indigenous part right, I have a movie somewhere with with Johnny Depp and Gary Farmer that can't even remember what it's called now, but I have that. I do somewhere, and we're going to be watching that eventually soon. But Terry in Scotland, you were asking for us to opening up the suggestion list for Statterbox at the Cinema movies. And one of the movies that I would love you to find, if you can, is called Always Be My Maybe. Always Be My Maybe. It's Ali Wong, Keanu Reeves, some other Chinese dude whose name escapes me, but if you saw him, you'd be like, oh yeah, I recognize that actor. He played the dad on Fresh Off the Boat. That's all I can tell you there. But Always Be My Maybe. I would love to see. Keanu Reeves is in that movie, and he plays himself-ish, and it is so funny. It is so funny. Always Be My Maybe. If you can find that, I would be here. I'll even write it down. So, because it's a very strange title. It's a very funny. It's very funny, and Shock, don't play it. He has the butt of banning. I have to before I play the Gary Farmer Johnny Depp movie. I have to research it first to make sure there's no butts, because yeah, he is the one that gets me banned every single time. And Picola T have not left the house without some kind of sunscreen or tinted moisturizer on your skin, not since maybe I was 15 years young. Wow, good for you. And let's see here. The pressure, I get it, says Darlene. I even thought of doing one or two things myself, but then didn't. The expense, and when I looked at some possible side effects that could happen, that scared me. Right, exactly. Kenny, though, I'd consider getting some cosmetic work at the age of 59. Some things just ain't where they started out. Yeah, well, actually, there's this one, and I guess I would say I am vaguely maybe open to this. There is, no, it's not the Lone Ranger. It's in black and white. It's not the Lone Ranger. It's something different. Johnny Depp is not, no, it's not the Lone Ranger. It came out before that, from what I understand. But actually there's this thing, they advertise it, up here. It's called Sonobello. And it's this weird, like, radio wave thing that sort of tightens up your skin. It's like non-invasive. I don't exactly know how it works, but from what I've seen on the commercials, I'm kind of intrigued. I kind of would like maybe to get rid of my get just my singular chin back instead of the double. I didn't need a buy one get one free option on my chin. But here let me just do whoops. No, it's called Dead Man. The movie is called Dead Man. That's the movie that I was gonna will eventually be watching. It's in black and white. It's a Western. It did not do very well when it first came out, but retrospectively, people are realizing like, wow, it's a really good movie, actually. So, and I have it somewhere. I bought a DVD. No, I have Dead Man. I have that. I want you to get Always Be My Maybe. Always Be My Maybe. I also want you to get, hold on, the Grand Theft Parsons. And then another movie, it's a John Cena movie called Vacation Friends. And Vacation Friends is really funny, y'all. John Cena is remarkably humorous. I can't necessarily say I'm a huge fan, but in this movie I am a huge fan. He's funny. He is really funny. So if you can get any of those things, I would be super stoked. And Terry did mention earlier in the stream that If you guys have other suggestions for movies for him to go talk to his source and see if he can get them for us, throw them all down. And let's see here. Pacola T, I've learned the hard way the importance of good sunscreen, so now use it regularly, especially when diagnosed with some skin cancer that had to be removed. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. John Cena is going to be doing his final wrestling match. Oh, really? I kind of thought that he was done with that a while ago, but I mean, I guess. You say final in quotes. Does that mean that he's had a final before? And yeah, Kenny, though, but that happens. That's something that happens to every dude, so don't worry about it. That just happens. All right, so let's see here. All right. So, I wanted to, let's see here. You know how bands do their final concert? Yes, exactly. The final concert tours. Yes, exactly. It's kind of what I figured. That's kind of, because it's final until the next dollar, until that money's all spent, and then the next $100 million gets offered, right? Then suddenly, well, maybe I can handle that again. Maybe I can tolerate those 3 other dudes for the next 6 months for $100 million. I would love to be able to just tolerate someone for 6 months for $100 million. Shoot. But all right, you guys. So last week on Wednesday, last time we spoke, I told you about a kitty who was about ready to pop. Well, the kitty has popped, and we've got kittens just in time for Christmas, basically. So I wanted to share with you the kitties. And for those of you who were here last Wednesday, do you remember how many Pacola T you guessed? 6. That was what I was just about to ask. Does everybody remember how many they guessed? I guessed 7. I was wrong, but here's some pictures. She gave birth on October 2nd. And so here's pictures on October 2nd, October 3rd, and October 4th. Boop. That was her about popped. That was her after they squirted out. And there's the pile of kittens. For those of you who didn't get to count them and catch them, it's 6. 6 kittens. 2 orange kittens. 1 black kitten. 2 tabby kittens. And 1 tortoiseshell kitten. So, 6 kittens. A pile of fluff. And one of the orange kitties has a crinkle tail. One of the orange kitties has a straight tail. And so we've got 6 fluffy kittens. And that is the black one. That black one is the runt of the litter. But he's still growing ounces by ounces every day. So he's getting milk. And sometimes the runt kitties end up being the biggest. So who's to say? But that's what she looked like 2 hours before she popped. She was about as round could get. And so these, what's a crinkle tail? It's a tail that has a crinkle in it. Instead of, a regular straight tail, like in the womb, it must have been sort of bent, cocky wumpus. So when it came out, it was a crooked little, it has a kink in it. It's just it's not straight. It's got a bend in it. And so these are the kittens so far. And if you think that I will not be showing any more pictures of kittens, you don't know me. You don't know me at all. So pretty much I'm gonna be showing you kittens until there are no more kittens to show. Okay? Okay. So if we're in agreement here, we're in agreement. If we're not, too bad. I'm still going to show you the kittens. And like some dudes have a bend in it. Yeah, only this isn't really a bend as much as a burp. Like a burp-a-derp, you know? Yes, exactly, Rick. You got it. 2 blacks, 2 orange, 2 tabbies. Only it's not really 2 blacks. It's a tortie, but we're going to call the tortie a black. And, yeah, so that's what happened. Verity, which one am I keeping? None. I tell myself none. I tell myself none. None is what I tell myself. I tell myself none. There are some exceptions to the rule. If one of the orange kitties turns out to be a girl orange kitty, I might have to do that. Because I've never had a girl orange kitty. Girl orange kitties are a little bit rare. And I've already had a boy orange kitty, and I don't ever want to have another boy orange kitty because Whiskey is the pentultimate boy orange kitty, never to be replaced. But I could maybe think about doing a girl orange kitty. But I think both the both the orange kitties are boys. The other exception is if the tortoiseshell is a boy kitty, I might consider it. However, tortoiseshells very rarely are boy kitties, almost never. So I probably don't have to worry about that. That's what I'm telling myself right now. Okay? And I thought I wanted a black kitty. Well, I already have black kitties. So, and frankly, I don't think Ashes would appreciate another girl kitty in the house. I really don't think she would. So, I don't know, y'all. I mean, just shut up, okay? Shut up. You know I'm going to get one. I'm not going to get one. You know I'm going to get one. I'm not going to get one. You know I'm going to get one. Listen, do you think... No, I don't. That's what I want. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Kenny, my heart is already melting for the orange kitten. I'm a big orange kitten fan. I want one of those huge, hairy Maine Coon cats that's orange. So I name him Shere Khan from the Jungle Book. There you go. I know, exactly, Midnight Frequency Radio. Right. Yeah. Here's the deal. I have been showing these kittens to everybody in hopes that they get picked before I have to take one. And Terry, no, tortoiseshell and calico are not the same. And I've seen different definitions for each, but so honestly, I still am unsure, but for the most part, most people consider a calico is orange, black, and white mixed. A tortoiseshell is just the black and the orange with no white. That's the traditional understanding, although I have had people argue that no, tortoiseshells are the ones that are black, orange, and white, and calicos are the ones that are just black and orange. So I'm not really sure, honestly, which one is which. When I say tortoiseshell, I refer to the black and orange only. And when I say calico, I refer to the tricolor. And so, no, they're not the same, but they are pretty interesting, or pretty close. I just saw the word interesting, had to read it. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, gee, you got to look at these cuties and wish I could cuddle with, and I wish I could cuddle with them, torture me through this time. Yeah, exactly. And once she names it, that's it. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Although, actually, to tell you the truth, I did already name them. The first one that came out, I called Akahi. The second one that came out, I called Alua. The third one that came out, I called Tres, because I knew that he would be Trey Cool, and he was one of the orange kitties. And then the other ones I didn't name. So I actually did name the first 3, but my coworker, who's the one who's taking care of these cats, she did not accept these names. She said no, those are not the names. So there you go. And let's see here. So we've got Terry in Scotland. Tortoiseshell and calico cats are terms used to describe coat color patterns, not specific breeds, and both are almost exclusively female due to the genetics involved. Exactly. That's why if it's a tortoiseshell that's a boy, I might have to steal it. The primary difference between them lies in the presence of white fur. Tortoiseshell cats, often called torties, display a mottled or patchwork pattern of two colors, typically black and orange, or their diluted versions such as gray and cream with no white fur present. That's my understanding as well. Tortoiseshell cats have a black base coat. Calico cats have a white base coat. I did not realize that that was another distinction, but there you go. Tortoiseshell are a blend, completely different, almost like a marbling type of colored patterns. There you go. And Kenny from the Cove. Oh, Kenny, I already know how to pick a kitten. I've already done that, and you're totally right. Put the kittens in front of you, sit down in a chair, the one that climbs up on you is the one to pick. When that happens, the kitten is choosing you. By the way, you want to have a pair of jeans on for this. Absolutely. And then here we go. This is where the confusion's coming in, I guess. Shock is explaining tortoiseshells can also have three colors, but their base coat is still black. And Picola T saying you have a diluted tortie and also a tabby. Got it. Lauren Shancy on Facebook has a beautiful tortoiseshell kitty. And Kenny from the Cove, that's how you got Hobbs. Yes, that is how you got Hobbs. There you go. There you go. So if you guys know anybody in the Pacific Northwest who needs a kitten for Christmas, because they're going to be ready just in time for Christmas. They were born October 2nd, which means November 2nd, they'll be, about 8 weeks. December 2nd, they'll be about 9 weeks, or they'll be about 11 or 12 weeks. They'll be about 12 weeks. And for me, I think that it's best to leave kittens with their mothers as long as possible until basically the mom is like, get out of my face. If you take a kitten away from its mom too early, those kittens end up having weird behavioral issues later on in life, I've found. And so the most well-balanced cats that I've ever had or been involved with have stayed with their mom well past the 8-week mark. And so while these kittens might really be ready for adopting out around Thanksgiving or a little bit later, I personally think that they'd be best left for Christmas adoptions. But that's obviously just me, and that is not, and since I'm not the one taking care of them, I'm obviously not the one who gets to choose just how long they get to stay in the house. But right now, they're cozy and comfy on little warm heated blankets and little heating pads, and mom is obviously being a very good mom. And there you go. So let's see here. So yeah, kittens. All right. So, yes, Kenny definitely knows from experience. Absolutely. All right, you guys. So it wouldn't be a show without a map, right? Right. Exactly. All right. So yesterday when I was out and about trying to get footage, and I ended up having, I had a plan. I had a lot of plans yesterday. Not many of them actually worked out, but I had a plan. I was getting footage, and I was going to go around this loop on this highway loop and show you all sorts of cool things up near Mount Rainier-ish. And by the way, are we familiar with Mount Rainier? Here's Mount Rainier. Boom! This is Mount Rainier, aka Tahoma. And this is the big old volcano that is usually visible on sunny days from Seattle to Tacoma and all sorts of places in between and even further out. This is what Tahoma, Mount Rainier, looks like right now. AKA the mountain, correct, Picola T. This is what it looks like right now without a lot of snow on it. Now, if you notice, you've got the white glacier up there, right? And then kind of where the glacier is and then a little bit to the left, it's sort of the mountain has collapsed a long time ago. That mountain used to be more round and full. But when it erupted and the lahar happened, a bunch of, land flowed down the mountain and then to a certain point along the Kent Valley. And the video that I wanted to make for you guys was where the lahar stopped and how you can see, like, whoa, dude, that's a lot of land that was just flowing and then stopped, right? But but we don't have a picture of that yet. We don't have a video of that yet because stabilization is needed, right? But what we do have, though, is on that trip, I was going to go make a little loop-de-loop around south of Auburn, through White Center, or through White River, blah, blah, blah. Instead, I had to stop because the highway that I was on was closed. The road was closed. So I had to detour. And so I had to detour, and I decided, all right, there's this little highway called Highway 165. I've never heard of this highway before. And then I was like, wait, maybe I have heard of it. And I was like, but I know I've never been down it before. And so I went down Highway 165. Highway 165 actually ends. It just ends. So I literally went to the end of Highway 165. And on my way to the end of Highway 165, I went through a town called Wilkeson. Y'all, I've never even heard of Wilkeson. And I stumbled upon this particular town, and it threw me for a loop. This town exists. Yes, that is an airplane. Is that an airplane flying past? Yes, that is an airplane. But check this out, you guys. I'm like wandering through this 2-lane highway through the forest, and suddenly it clears up, and I get this. I'm in a town called Wilkeson, and this is what the town looks like. People live here, y'all. All of those businesses those buildings aren't empty. They have businesses in them. There's a saloon, there's a pizza joint, there's a soda shop, there's and back in the day, Wilkeson used to actually have 2 electric plants. It was considered the toughest town west of Butte, Montana. It is literally a movie set town, and I didn't find a picture of it, but their cemetery, oh my God, you guys, their cemetery is super old and absolutely amazing. I just couldn't believe this little town. And so once again, boop, Wilkeson, you can see is the highlighted yellow place, and then Mount Rainier National Park. Wilkeson, you see, Highway 165 goes all the way up to Mount Rainier National Park, except for it doesn't anymore. The road has closed at the bridge outside of Wilkeson. So basically Wilkeson's the end of the road there. And so that's where I was yesterday. And then I had to get back, and then I got back by the skin of my teeth, and then there was no movie and this, that, and everything. But anyway, my point is, I'm going to be going back to Wilkeson and getting video footage that is usable. I'm going to be getting pictures. I'm going to probably be even eating lunch at the saloon and doing this, that, and the other. I thought that was, and I will definitely be checking out the cemetery. And I absolutely, at our age, we don't randomly go and visit cemeteries. I do. I just thought that it was the coolest flippin' town or thing to stumble upon in the world. And then I was leaving, and I drove down this different highway, or I got to 165, and then there was another highway called 162, and so I got on that for a little while. And basically, I was just getting lost in the woods on the side of the mountain yesterday, which was one of my funnest pastimes to do. Unfortunately, when I got to the intersection of 162 and 165, I realized and remembered, oh, I have heard of these highways. this is where my friend Victor died last year. Right. And then he came back to life because he had, right. This is where he got hit on his motorcycle and almost died and almost was paralyzed and almost lost both of his legs and all of these things. And the intersection upon which these two highways merge, I can absolutely see how that tragic thing happened. And so that made me really sad. But I was glad to see finally, because he was trying to explain to me how he how he got hit and where he got hit. And I didn't understand because it's kind of a weird it's a weird thing. And anyway, now I know where my friend almost died. And Get Lost is an inspiration for Statter. Oh, absolutely. I do. If I had money for gas, I would easily just go driving in random roads roads into the woods. I saw a logging road that looked really interesting, but I also realized that it's hunting season right now, and so I didn't necessarily want to go out there because I don't want to get shot. But yeah, it was a very exciting day, even though yesterday I didn't get a little boo-boo and I watched mine get bought and I didn't get the footage that I wanted and I didn't get nothing. It was still a really awesome day because I got lost in the woods and then found a super cool town called Wilkeson. And there you go. You could drive way over here. I could and I would. Seriously, if I had all the money in the world, I would just road trip all over. If I would, that's all I would do is road trip. Stay in hotels, drive, And yeah, I would absolutely go visit you. No problem. Anybody else in here want to go on an unscripted road trip with Molly? That would be a grand adventure. Oh yeah, Kenny. It is. One time, one of my friends and I were going to take a road trip to Illinois, but then halfway there, we decided that Illinois is too far, so we didn't want to go there. So then we decided to go through the Badlands, and then we decided to go hot spring hunting in various and assorted places in the mountains. Then we decided to go to Yellowstone, and so instead of going to Illinois, we went to Yellowstone because that's how that happens. We decided that we were going to go. We visited Pringle, South Dakota, and we've talked about Pringle, South Dakota here on this stream. It's where I learned about the genetic testing of all of the wild bison in the United States and how only one national park actually has pure DNA bison, and the rest of them are hybrids that were that had cows bred into them and then bred out of them. In order to repopulate the bison population that was almost extinct back in the day. And Elaine, exactly, so different from Hawaii, can't get lost here, just keep going around and around, you return to the same spotty parts. And Midnight Frequency Waiter, I have no doubt in my mind that I would go crazy in Arkansas with all the tiny small towns. Because honestly, I really do, not that I want to live there, but it is so quaint. I can't help but just get all in a kerfuffle over them. Okay, you guys. So, my friend got PhD from the bison area. I don't know what you mean by the bison area because there's a lot of bison area. But let me tell you guys, bison are big, okay? And I'm not one of those Hollies that go try to pet the bison. Not even. But I have slept outside under the stars in Badlands National Park and woken up with a steaming pile of fresh bison about 3 feet from my head. And if their poop is any indication, they're very large animals. And Pecola T, my college buddy, and I wrote to all the continental states asking for tourist info. We intended a van across country, ended receiving a garbage sack full of brochures. Yeah, I bet. You know, a state actually that I found to be completely quaint and lovely, and everyone thinks I'm such a weirdo for it. I enjoyed Kansas. I really enjoyed driving through Kansas. I thought Kansas was lovely. And oddly enough, South Dakota, another great place that there are so many tourist places in South Dakota that I still, having gone through South Dakota 3 or 4 times my own personal self, still haven't seen them all. And every time I drive through South Dakota, I find some other new magical thing. South Dakota of all places. Okay, South Dakota. Who knew? Oh, he studied bison doo-doo in the area I spoke about. Got it. And exploring is fun, Darlene. Your daughters all did a couple of road trips with friends before going off and living on their own and getting married, and I'm glad they did that. Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I feel like everybody should go on a road trip at some point in my area or in some point in their life, because just seeing how different states work, even if they're states that aren't that far from you, and how the different people... Like, when I first went on my first road trip, by the time we got to Utah, I started noticing that people there had a Western accent, not a Southern accent, it was a Western accent. And it never occurred to me that Utah, which wasn't really that far from Washington, would have such a distinct accent difference. It was so bizarre. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, Louisiana is due out next month in Truck Sim, then Illinois, and then finally South Dakota. Awesome. There you go. And then E-Music. Oh, you loved Kansas going through a cornfield with a full moon. Never done that, but I can appreciate what you're saying in regards to, and my gal pals want to spend a week in Deadwood. I've never been to Deadwood. Driven through near it many times, driven past many signs that said go that way for that. I've never been there though. And okay, you guys, all right, we are so busy talking about traveling and the like. We are 2 minutes past the bottom of the hour, and so let's see here. Oh wow, your maiden name is Anaga. I'd like to go to Anaga, Kansas. American Indians. My family from Okinawa. Got it. Yeah, you guys, you know, if we could just all get rich, then we could go on a caravan trip across the United States and just see what there is to see, which is exactly how it is. You don't have to have a plan. You just have to go where the wind takes you. That is exactly how that works. All right, you guys. So we are now 3 minutes past the bottom of the hour. So I'm going to say it's time to go. I'm going to say a hooey ho. Yes, exactly. The Chatter Vans. We could go on tour. And that would be so awesome if we could. Let's dream a big dream. But it's going to be remaining a dream for a little while, because it is time to shut the flying fork up, y'all. And by that, I mean me, not you. But hopefully we will see each other on Tuesday for Andy Boomatai's Daily Pigeon Live show. If we don't, that's cool. Maybe we'll see each other on Wednesday for Chatter with Statter, 5 p.m. West Coast time. You know, here, the usual time, the usual place. And then after that, on Saturday, next Saturday, we definitely will have some sort of movie. We'll think about it, okay? We'll have a movie. We will have a movie. That's what we're going to say. We're going to have a movie. Okay. We have a movie. We're going to have a movie. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for chattering. Thank you so much for gifting that $10 worth of biddies there, Terry in Scotland. Thank you so much, Terry, for the bracelets that are going to be coming. Thank you guys so much for all the subs and resubs and gift subs. Thank you, mods, for moderating. I don't think we needed you here other than for your wonderful topic chatternesses, but your guard presence I don't believe was needed. I'm holding a sword right now in case you don't know what that's all about. Yeah. Okay. Have an amazing week. And Kenny, my box of chili spices is coming soon. Oh, that's fantastic, because I just was thinking about how I needed to have some chili soon. Awesome. All right, you guys. Now that my tummy knows that it's going to have chili soon, my tummy's happy. Okay, we'll see each other hopefully on Wednesday. If not, maybe Tuesday. You know, the places we'll see each other. That's what we'll see.